សួស្តីបងប្អូនថ្ងៃនេះយើងនឹងចាប់ផ្ដើមបង្រៀននៅ literature study ដែលយើងនិយាយអំពី cry freedom. So I would like to introduce my name. My name is Khem. I graduated from the Beijing Foreign Study University. So my major is in English literature and English language and literature. So refer to much in literature. So I am happy to introduce you the aim or the objective. Why do we study the literature? Studying literature opens up a world of inspiration and creativity while also developing skills that are essential for today's global environment. The second point, it is a chance to discover how literature makes sense of the world through stories, poems, novels, and plays. That is the literature aims. It's like the quote of the North Pole Flyers. So literature speaks the language of the imagination, and the study of literature is supposed to train and improve the imagination. So I just introduced you about the cry freedom. Cry freedom referred to much the story happened in South Africa. Up until 1994, when the first black government was elected, South Africa was both a beautiful country and also an ugly country. Why do we call it? It evolves indeed. It is still rich in gold and diamonds, but it was also a poor country where the people were forced to live together in small, dusty houses. It was a country of black people with a government of white people. It was a country of contradiction. So we can see the majorities of the people, the population are black, when the minority are white people. That is the problem that happened. It's called cry freedom. It was a country of contradiction. Like here, also the story referred to the star. Steve Biko was a black political leader who wanted to bring together the black and white people of South Africa. Donald Wood was the white editor of an important newspaper, and he wanted to help Biko. They were both good men with a vision of future, but South Africa chose to silence them by burning them in box. This book and the film on which it was based were created in order to inform the world about what was happening in South Africa in those years. So cry freedom that they made into the film. Cry freedom it is 1987, a big drama film directed and produced by Richard Attenborough, set in the late 1970s apartheid era South Africa. So I just want to explain what apartheid. Apartheid means broken. It means separate the country into two at that region. So as South Africa, they divide into the black and white. That is we call apartheid. So the keyword that you have to understand in the cry freedom, it comes from apartheid word. So that we call apartheid era. It means that at that time, it's around 1966 to 1970. That is was too much about the country divided into two. So the screenplay was written by Sean Bresley, based on a Pierce book by journalist Donald Wood. It remembered that the story is because it comes from John Bresley, but based on a Pierce book by journalist Donald Wood. The film centered on the real life, even involved black activist Steve Biko and his friend Donald, who initially find him destructive and attempt to understand his ways of life. Denzel Washington star as Biko, while actor Calvin Klein portray Wood. Cry Freedom delved into the idea of discrimination, political corruption, and the repercussion of violence. A joint collective effort to commit to the film product was made by Universal Pictures and Marble Arch Production, and the film was primarily shot on the location in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, due to political turmoil in South Africa at the time of production. So I would like all the students pay attention to why they cannot make the film, why they cannot produce the film in South Africa at that time. You see, it is very important to understand that due to the political situation in South Africa at that time, they cannot allow because they have the conflict. They have the war at that time between the white and the black. They cannot. It was not steady stability. So I just want to show you peace at the basics. Peace is the fundamentals that we can get stability in our country and also in the world. So I want you to pay attention to peace. Peace can exist everything. Peace can exist the development. Peace can bring the happiness for our family, for our society, and also peace can make the world stable. That is very important about the peace. So it was commercially distributed by the Universal Pictures opened in the United States on 6 November in 1987. South African authority unexpectedly allowed the film to be screened in the cinema without cut or restriction, despite the publication of the book written being banned at the time of its release. So, even though the film produced, but without cutting some parts, without restriction, they cannot allow the film skin. They cannot allow the film uh, skin on in South Africa. That is the problem. The film was generally met with favorable review and earned critical rental of 15 million worldwide. So that is very good at that time. The world can see what is happening in South Africa because the film they produced according to the real story of the Steve Biko and also the real stories of the chief editor Donald Roach. The film was nominated for multiple awards, including Academy Award nomination for the Best Actor in the Supporting Role, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song. It also won a number of awards, including those from the Berlin International Film Festival and also the British Academy Film Award. So the film that can benefit too much because they win multiple awards. That is very important, and also it is internationally recognized the films. So at a moment we just see I just guide you the introduction of the book and also at the story. And now we go to specific in chapter 1 and chapter 2. We call the beginnings. And but here I just summarize you that the main important event, just summarize you the main happen in the flash. So I want you to read. I want you to go to the school to go to university and buy the book. That is very important. You have to buy the book and then buy your own study literature. It means that Read more. The more you read, the more you know. The more you research, the more you gain knowledge. Study at university without reading, you get nothing. Without reading, you cannot get benefit from the year study at universities. So, chapter one, this story is about South Africa. Donald Wood is an editor of the Daily Dispatch, a journalist in East London. One morning, so it began one morning, he gets news of a police raid in a black township crossroads that lies in Cape Town. So they have in South Africa. They also exist in Cape Town, like in Cambodia, and they also have the Cape Town we call the beach area. But the Cape we pronounce the same, but the writing is different. Cape in South Africa they spell Cape, but in Cape in Cambodia they spell Kep. Kep. But South Africa say Cape. Not, I'm sorry, not say C. Yeah, confused with French. So Ken Robertson, another journalist, gave him photo of the raid and he decided to print them. Robertson asked, "Do we dare to use them?" He asked it because the government doesn't allow the new to print something like that, especially about the police beating black people. They hide from the publicity. Wood had trained to be a lawyer also at the time. Remember that is very important. You have to remember Wood also the chief editor and also at that time he trained to be a lawyer. So here I just show you about the map of Cape town in South Africa. As you can see, also here in the South Africa, and also South Africa is connected to the Atlantic Ocean, and so you can see the images, the pictures in Cape Town. They have the National Olympic Stadium also in the Cape Town, but in Cambodia we don't have the stadium in Cape Town. We just have the small stadium, maybe just a national football. But here they can hold the Olympics, also the stadium. And remember those in South Africa, maybe they have the World Cup. I forgot that Olympic or World Cup in the years of. I forgot that name. I'm sorry. You can go and search by your own. And that is, you can see, you want to see the how beautiful it is in South Africa. You can go to the Google and search it. And remember that in the week two, I'm going to give the assignment. I also put you there the one topic, maybe topic three. It also talk about the today South Africa versus the today Cambodia. That is very important. You have to understand more in general. And because of that he had it because of he trained to be the lawyer at that time the Donald Wood because of that he had how the police treat black people and brutality against them. Wood also wrote about the Steve Biko and his black consciousness. Consequently, the next day, Dr. Mempala, who worked with Biko in the clinic, was very angry. Then she came to Wood office to spoke to him. Yeah, uh, to him about the article. Sorry, and confused that she came to Wood office to speak to him. Yeah, not spoke. Yes, to spoke. Sorry, to spoke, not speak. Yes, to spoke to him about the article. After that, she arranged a meeting between them. Would meet Steve Biko in an old church with the White Town. The meeting started with the Wood being very uncertain and critical turned Biko. Biko drove the conversation to exchange the rule, and then the idea and the belief by and sang into the wood march, and also would show the intelligence of the Biko reaction and reason. He knew that this is the start to something new. Cry freedom characters, yes. So Donald Wood describes the main character. Main character in the film Cry Freedom, directed and produced by Richard Attenborough, was Donald Wood. Donald Wood is a 41-year-old white African native. He is married with he is married. Then now they have the five children, a two girl and three boy. They all live together in a huge mansions with a pool in the yard. They also have an African man named Erlin. He was gray hair. Sorry, he has gray hair, glasses, and a cheerful personality. He also considers himself as a white liberal. At the beginning, Donald was blind and ignorant to what Steve Biko, black political leader, was about. He thought he was some sensationalist pushing a black prejudice. When a time came and he had to write an article for his newspaper, he just assumed what Steve would say. He didn't know or understand, so as a result. All his assumptions were wrong. A black doctor and friend to Steve Biko, Mrs. Rampel, confront Ruth about this. So Steve Biko, now we analyze this Steve Biko. Biko died in South Africa in 1977 under the apartheid regime has became an iconic event for the global human rights community for whom he is an international symbol. In the aesthetic realms, in work of art in a wide variety of forms, including poetry, drama, popular song, film, and visual art, his memory has been kept alive for over 3 decades. In internationally recognized prison of the year South Africa apartheid regime, Steve Biko, one leader of the Black Consciousness movement, died in detention on December 12, 1977. That is very important. You have to remember the date of the die because it really exists and the question also midterm and also final sometimes. Yes. In the first one, so thank you very much for paying attention to this. So if you have any question, don't forget to um, send me via the Telegram group, and also you can send me directly. And don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. So thank you very much, all of you. So please continue to read and watch. Go to next chapter for the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Okay. Good luck and also take care and live in a new normal life in the context of the COVID. Thank you very much. Okay.